good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that what to expect season preview slash enticer analysis. Today we're gonna talk about the number one overall seed last year, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Atkinson has another chance to prove that they can dominate in the regular season and this time get further and have more success in the playoffs. That's their goal. They shouldn't be worried about the regular season. They should just be worrying about how do we use it to prepare us for the postseason so we can make a deeper run and possibly be champions this year. And that's the way I look at it because they won 64 games last year. They was really on top of it. They really played really good defense. They really played great team basketball. They really lit it up throughout the entire season. It was basically perfect, as good as you can get, besides the Thunder had a better record and they finished number 2 overall. Other than that, that was a season that most of us didn't even see coming, although they had a lot of talent on paper and they have a lot of talent this year too. They are going to be amazing, and hopefully they can stay healthy so we can see this team perform at a high level. But when you look at the players, the new addition, Lonzo Ball has a new knee. He said it himself, but he's still showing you that he can defend. He can still make threes. He can still get it out in transition and make good plays and decisions. He can still also be a good hub player from time to time with his quick decisions when he gets the ball. And that's going to be his strongest addition to this team. Another playmaker, another shot maker, another guy that can guard multiple positions and just be utilized in a variety of different ways. He's going to be happy in this role. He's going to be happy with this team because there's a lot of spacing, there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of screens, and that's just going to make his job a lot easier as a player that's trying to prove himself again as he's getting closer to being in free agency again. Jared Allen, he was really good, 27 years old, had a great season last year, and we seen a lot of the reasons why they traded for him. 13 and 9, 70% from the field. He knew exactly what he was supposed to do each and every time he was on the court throughout the entire game. Showed that he was one of the best rebounders, one of the best rim protectors, and also showed that he fits with this team and he can play with Evan Mobley. And Evan Mobley, man, did he really make a name for himself last year with the rebounding and the being defensive player of the year. And it didn't take him that long to get that accolade as he's only been in the NBA a couple seasons. And he was also an all-star, all-NBA player. And I think that he can continue to evolve and he can continue to be a better player. And I think that he's working on his strength, as I done seen. He's working on his handles. He's working on his jump shot. He's working on being able to do more things on the court. And it's not going to take that much longer before he becomes the best player on this team, just based off what we have seen the first couple years of his career. And if he continues to add and continues to expand, he might be one of the best players in the league and climbing up to being the top 10 player by the end of the year. And that's early for him because people don't know this probably, but he's only 24 years old and he's 6'11". He only weighs 215 pounds. And he did all of that last year. And he had a whole off season to work on his game, add more to his game, and adjust to his teammates just a little bit more. Then there's going to be training camp. Then there's going to be preseason. And he has a chance to try all those things out. Like I said, a lot of these players have not hit their peak. A lot of these players have not even entered their prime or they're close to their prime. Or some of them, like Donovan Mitchell, is trying to show that he can be one of the best offensive weapons on a winning team. He proved that in the regular season. He continues to fall short in the postseason. They was the number one team in the NBA when he was with Utah. And he did a good job scoring. He did a good job trying to find a way to do what he can to the highest extent of his powers to be effective. He fell kind of short in the playoffs, missing free throws, missing big plays, missing defensive plays. But he's not running away from accountability. He knows when you're getting paid the amount of money he's getting paid and you're looked at as a player like he is an all-star and stuff like that. Comes with the territory. People going to say you got everything you need why didn't you win? Why didn't you get it done? Why didn't it happen? He's going to start getting more criticism for failing because they looking at it like you have everything that's needed to be able to win at a high level, even in the playoffs. And the coach even proved that too. Is like it makes no sense why y'all couldn't get to the conference finals. And I think that pressure is going to be amplified this year because of the Bucks losing Dame, and then Tatum goes down, and you never know what's going to happen during this season and this playoff run. So things going to continue to favor you that way. It makes sense for you with this talent that you have now on the roster to get it done and get further. And that's what the expectation is going to be for this team. You know, nobody's going to be surprised if they win the East again this year. Nobody's going to be surprised if they have a successful season. Now we want to see more. And the role players on this team, like Larry Nance, he's a versatile player. He can protect the paint a little bit. He can finish in at the rim. He can hit shots on the perimeter. He can set good screens. He's a good release valve for Evan Mobley when he wants to go to the bench or he's tired. You're not losing too much when it comes to a player that can do similar things. And I think that was smart to pick him up. You got guys like Max Strus that's going to hit shots on the perimeter and try to find ways to punish defenses for helping off Mobley or helping off Donovan Mitchell. That's what he's paid for because he's excellent in that role. And I think he'll be great this year. And I wouldn't be surprised. You can say the same thing about Dean Wade. He's going to be able to make shots. He's going to be able to play multiple positions. He's going to try to find a way to get guys open and get them the ball. And of course, Darius Garland. You know, he's an all-star caliber player. He has good handle. He has the ability to create his own shot. He has the ability to step it up in the fourth quarter. He can play on and off the ball. He can get to the rim. He can knock down free throws. And of course, he's a guy you can pick on defensively, but that's his biggest weakness. We knew that coming into the league that he was going to have that type of problem. He's only 6'1", 192, so it makes sense for him to have some problems and have some struggles for that reason. But it's not like it be a surprise. You have this team built this way because you believe that Darius Garland can be that good of a weapon offensively, that he can offset some of those things defensively, and that might just be the case if they ever get it done in the playoffs. He just has to play bigger and better when the moments are there, and that's what he was able to do in the regular season. Now he just have to transfer a lot of that mentality and gameplay wise over into the playoffs. DeAndre Hunter, I would honestly say he should be starting. The guy is so strong and so athletic, and they need that consistently. He can hit perimeter shots. He can hit some tough shots. He can get to the basket. He can get out in transition and really get to the rim fast and quick and even hit shots from the perimeter there too. He's a big part of what they do because he's a 3-and-D guy. He can stay in front of guys. He can make things tough. He can funnel guys into Jared Allen and Evan Mobley and make things tough and make things more perimeter oriented. And that's the type of shots that you'll want to take, especially if they contest it or they have to try so hard to get it off. And that's the type of defense he can bring on the perimeter. And that's what this team needed. They was missing him, and a lot of people agree with that. And a lot of people say it made sense to go after a guy like DeAndre Hunter for the things they would be missing in the playoffs. Didn't really work out for them the way that they thought it would, but that was only a couple games that he played, and now they should be able to integrate him better with these group of guys, and maybe he steps up with more practice and more scrimmages and more play with this team. Sam Merrill, he's a good guy. The guy can make a shot from the three-point line, can handle the ball a little bit. He's a quality guy because you want guys that have multiple skills, and he does, and he's coming off your bench, and he has been one of their best bench players, and it made sense for them to want to keep him and continue to have that type of floor space and then that type of player out there on the court when guys go to the bench, especially because he can play multiple positions too at the guard or the shooting guard positions. Guys like Craig Porter Jr. and Tyrese and Naquan Tomlin and Luke Trevors and Jalen Tyson's, they not going to be a big part of the rotation. But if they're needed because of injuries, they'll step up and try to play and try to contribute to this team. they're a question mark type of players. We haven't seen enough of them. We don't really know what they're going to do. We don't really know if they can really help this team in the short term. They might get a bigger role in the future, but they also might be cut off this team by the end of the year or the middle of the year. And that's just something that they have to accept. All they can do is go as hard as they can, practice as hard as they can, try to contribute as much as they can, and just be ready when their number is called for whatever the reason is. And that's all that they can look at it as, and that's all they can really try to do. But when you look at this team, they have a lot of guys that can do similar things, and a lot of guys that are interchangeable, and a lot of guys that can back up what they need. They like to move the ball. They like to run guys around. They like to get open and splash threes. They rely a lot on Donovan Mitchell's scoring ability and playmaking ability. When things get ugly and things get tough, they give him the ball and try to just trust in him to be able to make the right decision and make the right play. It is always good also having a guy like Darius Garland to where if you get stuck, you can always pass it to him and he can figure something else too on the fly. They're just that good of one-on-one players that they're hard to stop, they're hard to guard, and they just really, really good at getting contact and getting to the free throw line, and that makes them tough to be, to be stopped. And I think that that's what's going to allow them to have another successful regular season because the shooting, the spacing, the inside out game, the bigs can be able to hurt you in the paint. And this the versatility and the ability to be on a trajectory where they have a new ceiling they can get to. We've seen a lot of the things they did well. They should be able to learn from it, build on it, and continue to strive and do more when it comes to the roster this year. It didn't change much. It didn't fluctuate much. But for them to be young and them to be hungry and for them to want to be better, and we seen them improve from last year to this past season, and they was really, really amazing. That's why a lot of people were shocked that they didn't make a great run in the playoffs because they pretty much showed, improved, and checked basically all the boxes that you had to check when it comes to regular season success. And a lot of people was believers of them before the playoffs even started. They were just that good throughout this entire season, and they was really looking really, really trustable when you was betting on them or choosing to support them because they didn't really show no weaknesses. They didn't really show no flaws that made you think otherwise. But it just shows you that Indiana started figuring things out late, and they was able to show that they're contenders, and they was able to show that they can compete with Cleveland and figure them out, and some injury things helped too along the way. But Indiana didn't make no excuses. Our goal is to beat y'all regardless of what y'all have on the court, and we're going to just go out there and show that we're the better team, and they did. And they really, really did. And I think that the Cleveland Cavaliers, they look back at a lot of that stuff. They see a lot of that stuff and say, we clean up a little bit of this, clean up a little bit of that. Let's improve this. Let's add this. Let's add that. Let's switch this up a little bit, change that a little bit, and make some minor tweaks. And let's see what Kenny Atkinson goes to his home and fix and see. And let's put it all together. Let's continue to go with what we have when it comes to the nucleus, when it comes to the core. And let's see, was we right or we was wrong? If it goes wrong this year, we're going to see things switch up. We're going to see major changes to their core because you can't keep running and back and paying these guys for underperforming. There's really no reason at all why this team shouldn't be in the conference finals this year. You can say Orlando, you can say, any team, for example, besides the ones that are Boston and Indiana. Every team should look at Cleveland like we want to be them in the East based off last year. We want to have that type of season that they had. And that's just in order to have the best chances of having a great playoff run. But Cleveland look at it like I look at all these teams that was underneath us. We don't really have to switch up much. We don't really have to change much because we feel like we're just that great. We can do it again. But your flaws and your style of play really matters, a lot, especially when you're going in the playoffs. You know what I mean? And they got exposed a lot, and guys didn't deliver, guys didn't step up, and guys didn't make the right plays and the right shots, even in the big moments. And that's why they crumbled. And young teams can do that. And the inexperience can do that. Pain can do that, especially because they trailed in the series. Then they had to scratch claw and find a way to get back in the series, and then just never happened. And it's just a fun way of saying it got outplayed and it got beat fair and square. They just wasn't as good as they thought they were. They just wasn't as good as we thought they were as spectators and as fans. But they can fix a lot of that this year if they really learned and they really feel that they're great. They should be able to put it back together, rebuild the kingdom again, and this time just change your approach, change your way of thinking, and go out there and play harder, go out there and defend better. And when those moments come again, try to rise above it and get it done. As simple as that. It sounds easy, sounds cool, but that's actually what they have to do. Because if you want to ask me what I expect from this team, they're going to have another great regular season if they're healthy. I'm not going to give them too much credit. I'm not going to give them too much praise, because what I expect for them is to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. If they can't do that this year, they need to start changing some stuff. That's how we gonna look at their year. Screw the regular season. They should have that figured out. They should be a top 4 seed without a doubt. They might even be number 1 again, and I would still say I'm not surprised because of what they did last year. If they don't make a run to be able to be a championship team, it's a failure of a season. This season for the Cavaliers and the ones in the future are championship or bust years, because they're just that good and they're just that talented, and they have great basketball minds around them, and they have great guys that understand they can do multiple things on a basketball court, and they have two-way players, and they have great interior players, and they got guys that understand their roles. Once you have all that figured out, you should be one of the teams getting it done by the end of the year in the NBA Finals. If they can't do that, I just suspect them to be going in a different direction with the roster. That's just all I got to say. This is most likely a 60-win team again this up and coming season, unless injuries happen. Barring no injuries or major injuries, they should be winning 60 again. And that's just showing you how weak the East should be. Anything can happen. Surprise teams can happen, but they should be able to beat most of them, if not majority of them, consistently. And they should be able to beat some teams in the West. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis. And if you're new to the channel, I do conversation videos just like this about various NBA topics. I also do breakdowns with real footage of legends, current legends, rookies, and also future stars. I also do mock draft and draft coverage. So if you love NBA content, you can't get enough. I upload basically every single day. Not only that, I also do have over 3,000 videos already on my channel that you can watch and enjoy right now, and it's all for free. Other than that, thank y'all for appreciating the content for what it is. Thank y'all for making time for me. Thank y'all for continuing to come back and continue to support me in the past and the present, and hopefully y'all continue to support me in the future. And all I can say is y'all stay blessed up. Y'all have a good day. Peace. Hopefully I see you guys later today if it's some news or something that happens. If not, hopefully I can see y'all and give y'all more content tomorrow. Gone. Y'all stay blessed up, man.